Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 462. Just as my nose blocks up too. Someone's mowing the lawns outside.
I'm loving.
Hay fever time.
I'm finding love. I'm hiding.
Let's see how we go.
I'm searching. I'm loving.
We're searching for answers. So will we get some love or will we get some hate? Hopefully it'll be an interesting show. A new case I'm looking into to see if I think it's genuine or hoaxed. Or somewhere in between. Hello. Good to be back. I think the audio is working alright. As soon as we get some CPU. I need to get some more CPU. Give me more CPU. I need Scotty. Scotty, give me a boost. Aye aye, Captain. Who we got out there today? Unfortunately, I am Scotty and Kirk all in one. I'm the tech as well as the presenter. So it's all in my head to make sure the show runs smoothly. Hello, anyone out there? So I've been researching a new case. Welcome to the OT channel live. I thought we had 3 waiting before, and suddenly we've got none. OT channel live stream. $462. Got to 500 before we know it, won't we? There we go. It's just me chatting at the moment. Okay, I need to organise these around the right way. So we've got a few things still left over to complete. It's Friday here in New Zealand afternoon. So it should be coming up to evening in America, is it? Yesterday. New Zealand's always ahead of yours. So yeah, we've still got a few things we've sort of got on the back burner. So working on the new intro for the channel. Music probably has to be done as well. There's so much to do, and I've got to do the best UFO chart. Resume that part 3, isn't it? So there's a bit on that to do, and also the blacklist, which really needs to be kicked off properly. We were trying to experiment with that new text maker thing, Open Office or whatever it's called, for Windows, because Microsoft only gives you a trial period, doesn't it? And then it sort of switches off and nags you to the hell. But anyway, I was trying to do rich text format, as you know, but seems to, when you save it and load it back in, it seems to have random errors. So obviously, various packages have bugs with it. So what's first up? Let's see. I thought I might start off with Dorothy Izatt. It's an interesting story, and I'll see. I'll leave my opinions to it as we work through. So we've got to be like a non-bias look at this and see if there's any red flags with what she's doing. Because what I've noticed is a lot of these UFO investigators seem to have a lack of science skills, lack of knowing whether someone's a trickster or illusionist. They don't have any magic skills. So I think understanding magic, understand how illusions work. Although there is a lot of stuff out there now that's leaked to show how magicians do their levitations and stuff flying around in front of them between their hands, right? So it's amazing what you can do, to fool people. So as an investigator, you've got to have all those skills to see whether you're being hoodwinked. So who's this Dorothy Izatt? Well, she's Canadian, but she sounds English, I think. Let's see, can we play that clip? Let's see what he says. Mad Planets. Dorothy Izatt, experiencer who captured 30,000 clips of the phenomenon in Vancouver on her 8mm CINE from 1974 to 2002. Investigated by Alan Hynek, of all things. So did he get conned? That's the question. Okay.
In a small little window and looking out of windows.
Okay, so she sounds like she's British. Maybe gone to there to live. Okay, that's her so-called aliens. So we'll just keep watching that one. Now, this is very similar to the Dr. Lear footage. And what I did to analyse that and figure out what was going on. So let's just see how we're going to go down the same track here. Whether it's something internal into the camera, or I don't know if anyone was present when she was filming this. It doesn't sound like it. UFO Bro. What's your thoughts on Mr Doty's allegations of being a special agent? Well, he's always admitted he was a special agent, and to disrupt the UFO field because they didn't want American secrets of their testing to get out to the media and Russians and China, of course. At the moment, China's the bigger problem at the moment, and misinformation people who have UFO sightings. Yeah, he's admitted to all that though. He fits the profile, like a disinformation agent. I think some of the stuff he's coming out with now is a mix of truth and also disinformation, so you got to take it with a pinch of salt. So when he says that they got lasers, ground-based lasers that can blind spy satellites, I believe that is a true fact, because I've seen various other videos where they've been working on that sort of stuff. So it makes sense if you can blind with simple array of lasers swiping back and forth very quickly as they detect planes or something above the area that they're not too sure on. This thing's a good way to not make sure they don't get any videos or photographs. What's the other things he said about alien bodies being captured? Well, there's a lot of other people that said the same thing, so and you got to go with the percentages here. Is everybody lying? So it's a good chance that that they have got some aliens that they've been in contact with. That's my thoughts on that one. Why'd you ask? What's your thoughts on it? What's the other stuff he said? Hypersonic blimps. Well, there's been a few other people come forward since then and verified that. But I think maybe he's only revealing things that he can now. That not really top secret anymore. I'm pretty sure the Russians would know about high altitude hypersonic blimps by now, especially with the Chinese coming out with a hypersonic nuke missile recently. It's a bit hard to tell. There's always that disinformation, which is what ruins our field of trying to get to the truth. So the only way we can get to the truth is amongst ourselves, really. And better technology in commercial hands, our hands, everybody's hands. So you look at the Nimitz video footage, how bad it is. Although it's still pretty good because it's got a TV mode as well as thermal mode on it. That's blurry. We can't tell any details on it, but it does fit with the descriptions of the pilots seeing. But now we've got way better technology than what's in 2004 that the pilots had access to on our phones. So yeah, they don't even have optical zoom on their pods. You think you push a button and it would be giving you dual displays or something, where it's zoomed in and its AI is actually locking onto the object and scanning it, and sending back some stills of the actual object somehow, because they can do all that now with AI and algorithms. So they've obviously got better footage than they're saying anyway. I think the Roswell crash has been so destroyed by disinformation that it's sort of got boring to me anyway. We're not going to get anywhere with the Roswell case until the actual documents are all leaked, uncensored. Probably be the Black Vault that probably do that when it sort of comes available. I think he's honest. Hey Jasper, how's it going? So we're just getting into it. UFO threw out a question there before starting. So we're looking into this Canadian woman claims to see UFOs and aliens all the time. To me, that's like a red flag, Some of us get to see some things, maybe once a year, once every 10 years, you never know. But every day is a wee bit suspect, in my book. What makes them so special? So, they need a bit more investigation. Why? And I don't see why, if they're seeing UFOs all the time, why other investigators can't go there and sort of live in there and sort of document it and try and get corroborate the evidence, right? Nowadays we probably could do that. You know, you could say, well, the camera's always locked up at this certain time, or happened every night. The cameras would lock up. So, and I got missing time myself as a producer. Blah blah blah. You know, you'd think there'd be stuff like that happening all the time with these people, their experiences, and we're not seeing it. So something's going on there. Right. I know they can play around with the technology, but we should be able to document that. That should be like evidence in itself. You know, you can prove that's always going to happen. But also, you should be able to come up with science ideas to get round that, outsmarting the aliens. I think we can. I'll sort of talk about it in the past. Okay, let's carry on with Dorothy here. Now, Dr. Lear's footage had me conned 5 years ago. In that time, I've learnt a lot more about cameras and add-ons, because I haven't got the money to own all that sort of stuff. I can only read up what's on the web and watch documentaries and science and all that sort of stuff, and sort of then put it all together. Here's one that we're going to start with, because I've only spent probably 3 hours overall looking at this case, and already I see stuff that I think might explain how it was done, but we'll just go over it. Yeah, we might need to play it a few times. I'm not sure about copyright and all this sort of stuff too. I understand that she gets it taken down quite a lot. All the producers of these shows get it taken down a bit, which is not good for fair use and critical review, right? And we have to keep fighting it all the time. But yeah, as you can see here, she's filming lights in the sky, and of course it's before all the applications are available on the smartphone, where you can just hold it up to the sky and check for any rocket launches, satellites, strange planet alignments, stars, and also planes, which are the most common ones. But now, since then, we've got drones as well. But this is what, 1990s? And she was on TV shows all the way up to 2011, was it? I think she might be dead now. I think she was like 99 years old, and that was before Corona hit. So, yeah, you can see here we've got 3 lights in the sky. It could be a plane. Of course, she's filming it on a Super 8, so we'll go over that. That's not a regular digital camera, it's just a film. But like the spaceman used, NASA, right? So they use 8mm, 15mm, 16mm, and 35. And they can give you 4K image quality, right? So let's just look over the footage and look for some clues in the filming.
It's nothing to do just with UFOs. The lights on my film are the same lights that's been showered down all the time on us from the Creator himself. It's because of this light that it gives us the knowledge, this feeling inside that we're all born with, who we were before we even took on an earthly form. We are all beings of light.
She had mentioned that they had revealed certain information to her. And I said, oh, really? What information is that?
The reason they've appeared here is because they are worried, because they said mankind are getting very disruptive. They're worried about us because we all belong to the whole, and we are all connected that way to each other. And if we don't behave properly, we disrupt other beings, other places. Our earth only has a little skin around it to protect us. If we rent this veil between us and them, It'll cause terrific damage because we're either spill into their world or they'll spill into ours. It disrupts other beings from different places.
So this little sequence from obviously a documentary, which is this one here, I think. Dorothy Izatt phenomenon. Incredibly fast spirits. Music by Million Orbit. So yeah, there's a lot of things there for copyright, you see, with background music and stuff, and that's the way they try. That's the way they sort of control the information, right? So this is meant to be his 3 aliens' heads, and it's very similar to Dr. Lee's footage. What's unusual there for me straight away is the angle. It almost looks like that's the angle that you'd have on a viewfinder off the camera itself. So how could she be recording the view camera? Are they able to flip it around and have it reflected off a window? You see what I mean? Of another camera, using 2 cameras. So yeah, I'm a wee bit skeptical of this one here. I think it almost looks like she's filmed something out of focus, like screw heads, you know. We've talked about screw heads before, being zoomed in and out of focus. Could be all sorts of things like candle sticks where you just carve it out. So we need better footage than that to analyse, don't we? Did I have it here already? We get back to third phase hopefully at some stage. Here it is here, I think. Is that the same one? Tom King. I know it's hard copy, but it's got the same aliens. So, I think it's on this video here. So I'm just looking for clues and what I can see in videos. Whether someone's being truthful. She seems to come across like a lot of UFO people. They seem to be very genuine, nice, credible type people, but it doesn't mean they're not hoaxing and trying to make money out of it. Right? Now, what's their motive? Although what she said there about us being connected to the universe is really possible, science-wise. So we can't discount that. That what we do to the planet affects the universe, which is very possible. Nuclear weapons. So if you take out a sun or a planet accidentally, you know, from a nuclear blast or split it in half, it can change the gravitational pull in one part of the solar spiral arm. It's going to affect the whole galaxy, which then the galaxy affects the whole universe. So you can see how there could be a ripple-on effect where aliens might be watching over us. So we can't discount that story of it. So yeah, was that the video? Yeah, let me just see. Yeah, this one. So let's just play a clip of this.
There was more truth to what I had come to.
Okay, so it's pretty small here. Now, do I have to put some funny filters on just to make sure I don't have to go through copyright claim nonsense? I might just speed it up, speed pitch shift them a wee bit. Probably sound better.
To understand that even I realized.
Okay, probably a wee bit too helium. 50. Slow it down. Okay, let's see, can we make it bigger? Okay, so where do we start? I think this might be a clip of it anyway, so we'll just play it.
That seems to have a life of its own.
I think that's the same as in the. I think that's the same in the Twitter. Is that much bigger? Yeah, I think it might be. It's not much though. And it's pretty crappy, really, isn't it? But this is coming out on Super 8, which is like this camera here. Is that the picture one? Okay, so we're looking at something like old technology like that uses 8mm film.
That one of the still.
So what happens is there's a flash, and then suddenly it looks like long exposure happens, right? Where those dots in the sky seem to have moved. But I noticed there's little repeating gaps in places as well. To me, that's almost like something is stuttering inside the camera. Like it could be some mechanical fault on that particular camera she's using, or somehow she's introducing it. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on stuff like that. We'll just keep on going. What have we got down the side here? Need a Death Star destroy planet. Sightings of Jetson rules by 2020. Well, I think we'll have flying cars before long. Next 5 years. They already got some successfully tested in New Zealand. Obviously they're testing it here first. And then New Zealand's like a test bed. And then they send it out to the rest of the world. Okay, so just carry on watching this. Hopefully it's loud enough.
That she has seemed to come alive. So she got out her camera, aimed it at the photograph, and just took some footage of the still picture. When the film was developed and returned, she discovered that the image on the still photograph flash and produce light phenomena of its own. What they told her was that...
Okay, so straight away that rings red flags for me. So she's got a still frame where they've got the streaks or whatever, or a UFO on it. And now she's using the camera again to film the still. And we can see there it's definitely got some flashes happening. Now, where have we seen that before? NASA. Remember the NASA using the same type of cameras? They suffered badly from static. So as the film cartridges would go over rollers, it would charge up static. Now, how come it's not working for her? Maybe she disabled some sort of static build up in her camera. Or maybe she is part of the problem. Not everybody's equal in the body of static. Some have really high voltages on their skin, and they can do incredible things. So you've probably seen them on other types of documentaries where they can hold on to AC current and not be electrocuted, that sort of stuff. They have a high body resistance and also lack of sweat, because sweat and water and salt is a very good conductive. But if you have pure water without any minerals in it, it's actually an insulator. Like you often see horror movies where they got electric flying around, it goes into the water where they stand and they get electrocuted, right? That's because the water's dirty. But if it was pure water, it would do nothing. Not people don't realise that. But here it looks like flashes. Has that sort of blueness to it, which you get for the static sparks. Now I just wonder if she just holds the camera and somehow induces a static charge build up, which is only unique to her. So she may not know she's hoaxing it, right? She might actually be not understanding that she's got some uniqueness to her body chemistry that affects the camera that she uses. So she might be able to do it on other cameras as well, you see. So as an investigator, that's the first thing I would start looking at, is to do tests on herself. Measuring EMF radiation around her, electrostatic charge on her, and also try and make sure she wears gloves and that sort of stuff, and see if the UFOs disappear, right? So let's just carry on with this one. Again, I'm not too sure why no one else has brought this up. Is it only me that sort of looks into this sort of stuff and puts into a new direction? How long has this been out before I come along to look at it, you know? I suppose it takes a unique a brain, I suppose, just to put it all together. I don't know. But it was so obvious to me that something there was static happening. And you can see it only happens within less than a second, which is typical of static. And normally it would happen on NASA footage where you get the blue sparks. Tyler Klotner would put those up as blue UFOs on orbiting the moon or whatever. But there were various other slides where these little sparks would be near the ground at foot level and only be like inches long. So he doesn't show you those ones.
The light by any medium never lost its potency.
It occurred to me that maybe there was more truth to what I had come to understand than even I realized.
But the effect of this light on those who view it will correspond to the individual's willingness to experience it. If a person is afraid, then chances are nothing will happen.
So how would you do that? And even if it happens on one train. Again, it could be electric, a spark. Is that a spark happening there? So the next thing on this, how do you get long exposure to happen randomly like that? Well, obvious thing would be electric static's got it mucking around with electric motor that drives the cartridge on the thing. Runs off batteries after all. It wouldn't take too much to mess around with the circuit if you got high body static, right, on the batteries that's driving the cartridge. And whether it's that particular camera might have a fault on it, on the cog system or the belt where it's slipping. And if you get a frame that's sort of stuck there, not moving in front of the lens, collecting new light, suddenly you get a long exposure that happens, right? So that's the other thing, you know. I don't see no mystery here. I know it kind of looks like some of our security camera footage where we're not using film, but we got other known artifacts that occur on cameras like that. It was a slow shutter and low lights and IR, blinding, where things closer to the IR are more whiter. It kind of looks like spider web even here or here. Could it be... Some of it could be even some stuff inside the camera that she put in, and she just wiggles it around and it's reflecting off some hairs or fiber fabric, you know.
Those who are watching the images now should
see. Suddenly it goes like that. You see what I mean? It almost looks like fibers in a way there. Long exposure, fibers, mixture. That would mean that she would be knowingly hoaxing it then, if that was the case. But then all the experts were meant to have opened up a camera and checked it all out. So, but it still doesn't rule out her being the key factor here of affecting the camera or the cameras that she uses. And no one studied her, you see. Everybody always looks at the technology first, when you should be studying the person, see how she's standing. Does she always go to the same spots? Is there some sort of mat she stands on? Is there some sort of lightning rod next to her? Does she put her hand on the railing while she's filming? It's got a nail in it, which may be charged with static itself. Could she be somehow charging herself up? All these questions, right? As a researcher or investigator, you'd have to ask. This would be a good case for UFO interest. Well, if you saw what I said here, it was actually a post to him. Did UFO interest or Mick West ever debunk her? Seems she used various cameras, but mostly she used the Super 8, right? So let's just keep watching this. Now you got sort of idea how I'm thinking and how I'm breaking it down. Rather than going straight to it must be aliens or it must be light beings. Now where have we seen this also before? His first name is Doctor, and he likes lots of money. And he's called Greed. Now, Dr. Greed. You might remember seeing similar light beam type photographs where the person was moving the camera and snapping it with longer exposure rates, and you get these streaks happening where people are holding laser pens and streaks from the fire and camera torches and all that sort of stuff. So if you've not seen my live shows on Dr. Greer's light beams, some of those were like this, and some of them weren't. Some of them all look like genuine hoaxes using 3D props, so I call it. So let's just keep on going. So this is really my initial case look into this. I can't say I got the answers fully, but I think I'm on the right track here. And obviously you can make lots of money from this sort of stuff too. So if they've got a lot of commercial content up, like this video here, and they can use copyright claim to take down people criticizing it, analyzing it like myself, and you'll never get to hear about it in the future, right? And it'll just go circling around again, and their family will keep making money off it. Who else does light pictures like this? I'm pretty sure there's a few out there. I don't remember seeing anything similar to Stan Romanek doing it. His were mostly what people claim to be puppets, but I'm not too 100% sure on that, because people did stay with him and did witness UFOs above the house and strange things happening in the house. So he's a unique case, and he got caught up in all that child stuff. Whether it's true or not, I still have my doubts, which I've talked about in past live shows. But everybody else jumps on the bandwagon and calls them a witch hunt, I'm less likely to jump onto someone with a witch hunt unless there's lots of witnesses that make testimony saying, yeah, he touched me. That then is 100%, bingo. But Stan Romanek, I don't believe there's been anyone that's sort of come out saying they were touched or anything like that in the family. And the wife is still with him. So how many pedos have the wife stay with him once they find out? Probably zero. So, anyone that keeps going on about Stan is a hypocrite and hasn't really studied him and his past and the strange things that happened at his parties. Anyway, just carry on.
Look carefully at what they're seeing, because whether you feel it or not, you are being touched by this very...
That almost looks like a skeleton hand there, doesn't it? And what the hell would that be? It's almost like a lizard with two arms sticking out. But again, it's this. It looks almost like smoky breath, you know, like water vapor from the breath here. Maybe a plain light in the background that's got a red strobing light here where she's jiggled around. Knowing that the camera's not actually rotating, maybe she knows how to do the motors. Maybe there's a loose connection, right? And you wiggle the camera in the right way where the motor goes, and you know it's slowed down, you can hear it. And then you suddenly wiggle it around, and then you know it speeds up again.
Very high divine light. And it will trigger something in you, in the observer, whether you notice it now.
Now you can see it has that sort of juttering, and the last one did anyway as well. So this is the first time I've seen this actually. I see the front of it, but I didn't watch it all. But you can see here there's little gaps in between, which would be like a stuttering thing, wouldn't it? Is that just on one frame? That's got to be like movement. See, I would love to study her. I'd just like sit there and just watch. She says she can see him, and no one else is. Everyone else is looking at the sky. They can't see this, which kind of suggests means it's in the camera. She's saying she sees it, whether it's on the viewfinder or she's just making believe. I don't know.
Something in you, in the observer, whether you notice it now or not, so that somewhere in the future you're going to have a little more understanding of what you are experiencing.
We all have this light in us, given by the Creator. It's just that we have to learn how to use it. When a person is sincere and really wants...
See, we all have this light as a creator in us. We just have to learn to use it. Yeah, she knows she's got some static capabilities, able to create lights inside electronics. That's how I read that statement. Jasper, that would be monetizing her broken camera. Yeah, I think she'd probably make more money if she's not around now than ever, because I think she's come around again. This is why I've brought it up. I think Goofon mentioned it, and I thought, well, no, here we go again. So, but I've never analysed her before, and this is my first attempt.
See the light, you'll see it. You don't have to be a saint. If you really want to see them for a purpose, they'll show up and help you. But you've got to be honest and true with it. Thousands now that's gone through my home. Branched off.
But she could also be a dangerous person in ufology, right? If she's knows she's producing it, she actually likes the attention, right? And it means she could become like a cult leader and influence others in that strange hippie... what do you call it? Ufology, hippie cult, you know? Light beings, C5 and all that. I see that as just a way to make good money. People want to believe in that, right? They so do. And they get offended when you debunk it. Saying, come on, be a bit more critical. And of course they go to these groups and see something happen, but of course you can see how well she's staging things here with camera people around her. Why can't Dr. Greer do that? Or the people that he works with might be clever illusionists, right? I'm sure if you took David Copperfield along with Dr. Greer, would you believe anything that was happening? You probably would say no, because you know he's a magician and he can make things float around and do all sorts of crazy things. So why can't Dr. Greer figure out some of the same as the magicians were doing? They obviously can, same as what she's doing. That guy that claims to see lots of orbs above his house, right? What was he doing? He's rubbing his hands. He was rubbing off skin flakes off his hand and blowing it into the air, trying to get it to glint off a bright light to the smartphone, right? And of course, Dr. Greer's promoting that now, isn't he? But I think he probably got one of those magic fingers, which is hollow. Might be in the tip only. It's got a pinhole where he sort of shakes out talcum powder. But anyway, that's the sort of thing you'd want to investigate it. You want to say, stand there, don't move. Okay, now we're going to strip search you from top to the bottom. And if they complain, you know they're hiding something. Now let's start with your hands first, your feet, legs, face, and all that sort of stuff.
And did some of their own from there, little gatherings together.
Whoa, look at that. Huge. Look at that. Oh, it doubled. It split into two. Whoa. It doubled. Whoa. Whoa. Check it out.
And what could that be, guys? It could be just a plane that's two planes following each other, and that's landing lights. So, but we don't know that because they got no apps back then, no tracking software whatsoever, and they could be far enough off you won't hear the engines, right?
That was awesome.
Contact.
And so it's so far away, and we don't know if the film's picking up the red lights.
With light beings will increase.
Okay, so there we suddenly got a streak. Now, how long was that streak there for? Probably a few frames. It almost looked like a spark. Frames. I'm just moving the camera. I think the camera moved, didn't it? So let's just have a look.
Contact with light beings will.
Yeah, it looked like it moved. It looks down here now, see? See what I mean?
Increase over time.
It's too much suspicion here for me.
Experience. We're not alone. We never have been.
So could that be plane lights? Two wingtip lights, and we're not seeing the other ones because it's too far away. I think so. And there's another glitch in the camera. See, the glitches don't last long enough. It's got to be a catching in the cartridge somehow. She's causing it to happen. She's a cunning old lady.
And it wouldn't hurt me if they think I'm a loony and say that, these things don't exist. Fine. They have to find out for themselves, right? But what I'm experiencing, I'm sharing it. Take it or leave it.
I'm so...
I don't know. It's something about her body language there. I wonder if the body language panel have done her at all. But look at these. Look, typical streaks, for long exposure where people are moving the camera around. Kieran 3D probably can do all this sort of stuff. I'm not sure if he's about. He might be watching it later, I don't know.
Sorry that, the scientific community, medical profession, they didn't show more interest in it because I think some good could have been come of this. It's something that, might not
So she could easily fool her family and all that for all the years, right? Because she may believe in religious stuff that she wants them to believe in it too. Or she could not even understand her own her body was causing it. It has to be. It has to be something to do with her and static and the electric motor. Why didn't they just give her some other cameras and say, yeah, okay, duplicate it now? Oh no, it only works on Super 8. Sorry. It's got the design flaw.
Again, for a long time.
Dorothy Izatt is the best witness, the best claimant anyone could hope for.
Here we go. Watch her.
The subject is really inherent in the very fact that it exists.
She wasn't going to do any filming. It would have been good to be able to watch her on something like that. Okay. Dust looks like a breath for air. And static happening at the right time. How would you do that one? How would you do that one? Shake camera. Done. Of course, the people outside don't see any of these, and so you'd think, oh, it could be bugs, right? But that's like a modern roll and shutter motion blur type thing. And this is talking about regular film, right? Which they say is harder to fake. But we know that NASA had problems with stuff like this on some of the images. You know, they had leaky stuff that left blobs on the film, scratches. What is it? Or radiation would cause overexposure on parts and all that sort of stuff. Okay, we got some terrible music now, unfortunately. Okay, so we've got pattern happening there. How would you do that? Static lights and move it all in the same way. That's the motor must have jammed up. See, it's a wee bit before my time, you know, with the understanding of the technology of the film and how it's processed. There'll be experts out there that will know. Probably someone knows how to jam the cartridge or muck around the motor. You know, that'd be a first experiment to do, right? Put a little pot on it and just add it on the outside of the camera where you can just fiddle with your thumb, the little pot on the camera. Although they say they investigated the camera that hadn't been modified. And you could then slow the motor down, cause that sort of effect happening there. But if it's jamming up going, yeah, I don't know if you ever used VHS tape, but there was all sorts of problems like that on playback. They still got music. Yeah. So why not flying saucers? Okay. Why is it always streaks? We've got trees, is it? I don't know. Could that be trees there? Again, it could be a flash from static there where the motor jams up again. I'm not impressed. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there would be going, wow. Because they haven't got the critical thinking that you need in this field. So there's the lights. Now what are they? Could be bloody fishing lights that go out there every night. Whereabouts is she in Vancouver? Near the coast? I suppose all these might be copyrighted images now, so they can try and take down. But it should be alright for fair use, shouldn't it? Especially since we keep stopping it and talking over it. You need lots of money to fight these people in court when they muck around like that. So that one could be, how'd they get it to be so many different colours? Well, plane has red and plane has white. Outside lights have yellow. Street lamps can be various blues and whites. And who was there watching her film it? Anybody? You know. Could be candle, even that one, that down there. Blobs. So what's that kind of look like? Blobs from a candle. Big flash of white light there from the moon, maybe. Maybe she's zoomed in somehow. Almost looks like it's on a piece of glass here. Flash a torch at the right time. You know, you could see how people could fake this stuff. The key is to try and duplicate it though, and then you can say, well, this is my duplication, this is theirs. How close did we get? But yeah, my initial view on this one, maybe someone out there's listening that wants to take this further and actually try and do that. Go ahead. Prove me wrong. And prove her right. These, okay, what's that one look like? It looks like a damn lampshade, right? Straight away. Over exposed lampshade, maybe a yellow light bulb in it. You know, standard light bulb, which is yellow, which they call warm now, because you got the cold white and warm white, which is yellow, because of LED lights now. So that one doesn't impress me. That kind of reminds me of Golf Breezer going, you know. And what's that down the side here? Happening down the side here. Is that part of the film where it was processed from stills? Yep. Anyway, hopefully you can see inside my head now and compare what's on the screen. Eventually you might come up with a way to prove it. Oh, look at that one. Definitely looks like a light that flashed on, off. Planes, lights, motor jams, creates long exposure. So yeah. Get the aliens to write your name like that. That's what she should have been saying. That would have been like 100% proof then. Come on, ETs, do that. Write my name, Dorothy, with the squiggles like it's handwriting. Now, we have better evidence like this with the Corcora lights, where they got a single figure 8. You know, it wasn't complex stuff like this, but it's just a simple letter figure 8, where the UFO moved around so fast that it was caught in a single frame of that particular high-end TV camera, right? So, I guess I'll post a link to this in my Twitter post. Oh, actually, I'll do both. And you can have a look on your big screens, a bit more depth into it. Dorothy, but got some more bits to go over yet still about her. Like I said, she may be unwittingly hoaxer, or she may be a known hoaxer. You know, no, she's actually doing it. Now, I have an uncle who could never wear watches, only mechanical ones, wind-up ones. As soon as he put on an electronic watch, it would die. Because he had abnormal high static voltage on his skin. And yet you could touch him and stuff and not get sapped. So that's another question. Did anyone get sapped in their house when they walked over certain things? Did they get sapped when they tried to shake your hand or touch doorknobs? That's the sort of thing I want to know. But we're not going to find out, are we? So there's the Twitter post on it. But I thought it would be a good one to bring you guys. I'm not sure how many out there knew about her. But we'll look at her alien picture next. So we got some Reddit posts there. I think I've got it open already. Various pages, so we'll just go over it. Let's go and have a look at this one here. Hardcore. We'll have to muck around with the speed again.
Looking at an alien.
Alien. Okay. Let's see if we can suss this one out. 55 maybe. Up there. I'm going to slow it down a bit. Now let's try that. Hard copy. It's not really a news clip. It's like a documentary clip. So it's obviously going to be copyrighted, isn't it? So, but we're again using it under fair use. So I'm just mucking around with the pitch shift, so I don't have to waste my time keep asking for a review all the time, or have to fight it all the time, which is generally what I have to do. I have to fight fair use all the time.
Contact with extraterrestrials.
I love that voice.
Accounts have passed every scientific test. Doug Bruckner has the story of her alien encounter.
Love it.
Watch very closely, because if this video is what it's purported to be, you're looking at an alien in a spaceship.
You can clearly see
spaceship
in the window. And they turn their head.
Already studied and
so that's a video analysis skill. Now we're seeing something similar to this already with Dr. Lear, where apparently they turn their heads. So again, she's just playing back a viewfinder reflected off a window here. Look how bad and grainy it is, right? She says she's aiming at the sky, filming a UFO, and that's in the window.
Indicated by some photo experts. It's just one of
We'll
thousands
analyze that
of
one.
dazzling images from what's been hailed as the greatest UFO story ever told.
I've been researching UFOs for 35 years, and I've never seen anything like it.
And that tells me he's still got a lot to learn. 35 years is not enough. He's another goof on. He did 17.
It's an extraterrestrial mystery that's confounded everyone, from psychiatrists to scientists and respected UFO investigators.
It's an authentic phenomenon. Something real is going on, but they have absolutely...
Yes, it's real in the sense that it can be duplicated with static and electric motors failing and airplane lights and street lights and candles and other types of lights and reflections.
no idea as to what it is.
Just as remarkable as the pictures themselves, the woman who took them.
Professors, doctors, lawyers, anything you can think of, they were coming to do different tests on me.
Her name is Dorothy Izatt, the world's most...
So what tests did they do, you know? Did they do a static test, you know? Have we got video footage of her filming and doing everything, right?
Most unlikely UFO contactee. A 75-year-old great-grandmother who says she's been communicating with visitors from other worlds for 25 years.
I've asked them to come closer, and they'll move closer. And I'll ask them if I can film them, if they give me permission to film them.
These pictures are the result, showing everything.
So why haven't we got any classic flying saucer discs? Why is it always streaks and blobs? You know, blobs of light. Cobblers. I think her body language there doesn't rub with me. There's something about it. Let's have a look again. Just the way she's looking. I'll just step frame by frame here. Closing the eyes. What would the body language panel say to that? Internal dialogue going on. Looking over this way, which is normally telling a story. Believe me, look, I wouldn't lie to you. Looking down, I'm more clever than you, you silly TV producer. I can fool you. So there she's actually fact-finding. So what part of that is she fact-finding on? Closer, move closer, and I asked him. So what's she trying to retrieve from memory there? She's trying to ask him. And she looks down again. Internal dialogue. I can ask him if I can film them. Right, she might be trying to recall her previous story. So that's the problem with memory recall. Oh shit, what did I tell the last guy? Let me just think. Oh yeah, I told him that day.
Permission to film them.
These pictures are the result, showing everything from alien beings to spaceships to masses of...
So that's the closest we got to a classic flying saucer. And what does that look like again? It looks like one of those old plastic Chinese lantern lamps that you used to put on your house. Or we used to have them back in the 70s anyway. When you don't want to buy anything flash, you had one of these little plastic lampshades shaped just like this. Wouldn't go over the light.
Of glowing orbs in the sky and inexplicable flashes of light, all contained on more than 350 reels of film. This spry granny shot with her little Super 8 camera from the back.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've seen her holding it and her camera. Now, I've seen her with both hands up. Oh, there we go. So where's all the buttons on the camera? You notice this thing she's holding here? That's where all the battery juice is. Now, could it be easy to muck around with the battery components so it slows down the motor of the camera? Damn right there is. Might be a loose connection, right? Might be an outside screw you can wiggle up with your thumb there.
Hoover apartment. She remembers.
Okay, she's outside now. Vancouver Department balcony. Now, does she film from the ground?
When it first happened, on an otherwise
Okay, so she's holding it the same way.
ordinary afternoon back
And you can see her thumbs down here on this battery pack.
in 1974.
I looked up in the sky, and here was this enormous craft that looks like a huge globe.
Okay, so could she have seen a UFO? Sure, she could have. Could she have embellished her story ever since? Could she like the attention? Of course. And we've seen quite a few people like that in ufology, unfortunately, and that sort of ruined the field. And that woman that got lifted out the apartment in Brooklyn, was it in the Manhattan incident? That's got various other names, Brooklyn Bridge. Hey, we got Dan with us. Me rabbling on. I didn't even see you up there. You're not talking enough. Who we got? You can get some UFO believers who would say anything to make other people believe. Yeah, especially if they've got an agenda or if they're part of a religious cult, which basically believe in aliens and all that, and space visitors is really like a religion in itself, right? And Billy Meyer's the example of that. And Michael Horn, which is a character in himself, I guess. I won't talk about him, but anyway, I guess carry on.
Diamond-shaped thing up in the sky.
This is without a doubt the most remarkable piece of footage she shot.
Was where the
Looks like a camera screen to me, but
where the aliens showed up.
It's an image that appeared during one of Dorothy's routine sky
okay, so it looks like I'm gonna put this through editor so you can enhance
just
it.
recently.
And then
So why couldn't she zoom in and even better than that? Dorothy routine sky watch. Let's just watch what she's saying here. Okay, she's got that strange look, where she's always looking down, closing her eyes, talking about the window. There's that there in the window, a couple of aliens. Would you say they're aliens, or would you just say they're humanoids? Because you can't see any details. So she's so certain they're aliens. I just don't like how body language is reading here. Look, always down to here. This is story creation. This is.
yeah, I can't see the lights so bright. I said, I need to film you. I said, can you turn the lights off the ship? And I can film you. And they did. The lights go off. The aliens are there.
And believe it or not, like all of Dorothy's footage, this has been scientifically tested and declared genuine, or at least not faked.
There's not a lot that we know about it, but we know that it's real.
California UFO researchers Monica Ward and Peter Gatilla have thoroughly investigated the Dorothy Izatt
Have you ever heard of those guys?
phenomenon and are
No.
now compiling a book of their findings.
Yeah, here's the money-making side of it.
There is a spiritual world and there is a non-spiritual world, a material world, and so forth. What Dorothy has done is she's bridged
I bet he smokes weed.
the gulf between the two.
Meanwhile, Dorothy simply
There we
calls
go.
her ET friends.
I'm not sure what model
ET
camera
friends.
one that one is, because Super 8 come with various
What Dorothy
features,
has
didn't
done
it?
is she's bridged
And you could buy one that had more features and
the
things.
gulf between the two.
Meanwhile, Dorothy
Can we see any model numbers? Nah. Gulf between the two. Yeah, she's holding it always in a certain way here. And I would say, yeah, let's put some rubber gloves on you and let's see how we do now. Also, she's got it up to her eye all the time too, so maybe somehow insulate that part of it as well.
Dorothy simply calls her ET friends life beings, who she said
Life beans? Life beads. That sounds more like it.
come from diverse parts of the universe to impart a simple message to mankind.
No one wants to listen to it because it's so simple and it's so easy. It's L-O-V-E. Just love.
So where do we begin with that footage?
Scientific test. Alien encounter.
Is what it's purporting at an alien in a spaceship.
Now let's get rid of the caps.
You can
We need to get an
clearly
image.
see figures in the window, and they turn their heads.
Already studied
Can we see them turn
and
heads?
authenticated by some
Not really.
photo experts. It's
I think that might be just wishful thinking.
No.
I think we're going to need to take a few snaps here. What's that say? Hard copy. Let's see how we go. First time doing it. Here we go. We've got hard copy down the corner there. Can we see here playing back a little window on the camera? That would be really good. That would be really funny if we could. I might need to take a few snaps yet. So yeah, it's a possibility it could be wrong, but I'm highly skeptical at this stage. It's got the right colour to be alien greys, right? And looks like it's got big eyes. So let's have a look. It's a bit hard not to laugh though. Especially after seeing all those squiggle ones. Now, if she only brought out this and some of the other ones that look like real flying saucers, it would probably be more credible to me. So, but the squiggles and the locking up, could be easily explained to create long exposure. Alien Grace, you could have at least given her a better camera or come closer so she got you in focus. You weren't communicating very well, were you? Okay, let's try sharpen it first. I got my old man outside making a lot of noise. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you can hear him or not, but we'll have to deal with it. Okay, so this is just shut then. Now, does it look like Mr. Grey Alien up here? Seems a bit gappy now, doesn't it? Can start to really amp it up a bit. Yeah, what are we looking at? So it looks less alien now, doesn't it? It kind of looks like a man standing on the side here in a white jacket. These look like people standing around talking. Looks like people around here standing. And that could be further people in the background, right? Instead of looking at one object here, it looks like it could be a scene of multiple people just standing around. And of course, if they turn, it's going to give the illusion that this is moving. So could she be playing back a video of a wedding party on a reflection of a window, because it looks really washed out, doesn't it? And it looks like some reflection here going on. Okay, so we need to really reduce it going to blurriness. See there, see less detail. And you can't see the man here. You can't see people. So as you sharpen it, starts to look like something different, right? Okay, so let's just keep it on that. And run some filters through it. Swap out the blacks and whites. And already we're starting to see something going on. Okay. That sort of changes it somewhat, doesn't it? Definitely something happening over here. That almost looks like an alien head there now, rather than that being an alien head. And an arm or whatever that is meant to be coming down. But yeah, it's pretty bad quality, as you can see. So that's pumping it right up to see if there's any reflections. Straight away we've got some other stuff that's happening up here and off the side here. And again, this looks like it's on a screen. So where's the rest of the UFO is my question here. So yeah, we're going to grab some more images yet to analyze. See here? That looks like an outline of a camera. Reflection in the window we're dealing with here. Looks like the camera with something popping out the side here, which is then the reflection of this square up here. Oh look, it even looks like they got the label over top, so we've got to be careful here. They may have put that artifact in, which then changes our viewpoint. But anyway, doesn't look so much like aliens now though. It almost looks like a double-headed alien here. Pareidolia though, because that's what we're looking for. And that one looks like it's got a really long neck to be an alien. And that one's got extremely long neck too, hasn't it? If that's its cloven up to there and his arm going down there. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll just keep image. Right, I might just keep the image of that one. At this rate, we're probably going to spend all our time on this one. Hour and a half so far. We don't seem to have too many people interested in it. Anyway. Okay, what are you saying here? UFO footage in 2021 is like eBay auctions. Why are they filmed on potatoes? Yeah, need a qualified photographer to explain her image. Well, it'd be good to hear other experts' opinions, yes. Are you discounted? No, I'm not an expert now. I think I've got a better handle what's going on than most people. I certainly know how to process this sort of stuff to bring out details that you would never see otherwise. So let's go and grab some other images.
And yeah, they turn their heads.
Already stuck.
Okay, so why is it suddenly over here now? So let's grab a frame there. Really, I should take a wider one, but I don't like how there's so many damn badges. And you don't know what's been sort of overlaid, you know, but still you can see here, it looks like it's really cropped for a playback screen. I still can see the person standing there. And it could be people standing around at the back here, right? Still. See, it looks like people standing there, and person's head here. Could be a seat there, couldn't it? Or a person sitting down in it. Head. Looks like a guy standing there with his arms going around his belly there. I reckon it's something that she's filmed. Anyway, too good to be true, they say, huh? Let's have a look at this one now. Never know what will pop up. You can see, again, it's on an angle. Why would the flying saucer be on an angle? So it looks like one of those screens that you get on Handycam, right? Oh, there's meant to be a new image, damn it. New image. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure you can flip them around, can't you? I haven't played around with much. I know my parents have got one. Handycam. Handycam viewer, was it? Or was it just part of another camera where they play 8mm back on the small screen with like really bright lights on it, you know, because it's going through film. But you know what I mean. We'll have a look. Viewer. Now these things here, they flip around, don't they? So you can just play it back and then flip it around while it's filming you. At the same time, maybe. Maybe some allow that. Has anyone got it flipped around? What's that one? Here we go. So is that the back end or the front way? That's the front of the camera, isn't it? So this is what I'm thinking of. Because she converted the 8mm to one of these Sony ones. And just simply played it back in reflection in the window. Turn it up to maximum brightness and bingo, there you go, you got aliens. There's another one here, but it's got this one doesn't look like it rotates, but it might do. Looks like a pivot point there. That definitely looks like the front end, but am I wrong there? Could be the back end, I suppose. Who's got one of these things? In the side chat, can you verify that those viewers can flip around? I'm pretty sure my friend overseas showed me his one, and he did rotate it. In fact, he had an option to project it onto the wall, like a projector, which is damn good. So she could have done something like that. That was back in 2000s. Had one of these first projectors of the cameras, and it just, you can make it any size you wanted to. That would work. That would work really good. A reflection. Maybe I'm onto something, huh? So we want Super 8 camera, not review, we wanted viewer. Super 8 camera, playback, viewer. See what comes up with that one. A little box here. So there's a projector, normal one. And we've got this one, bingo. So what's that one there? Super 8 camera from Denmark. That would rotate, wouldn't it? So there you go. There's lots of possibilities how she could have done that. She could claim that she hasn't got anything like that and just hide it in the closet. Here we go. They still use it today, apparently. So, I've got some clues there. So what do we got in this one here? What are you saying? I'm not saying you are bad or anything. I'm just, yeah, I realise that. I'm quite open to more opinions. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just putting it out there. Initially, I'm just going with my gut and this sort of stuff. I'm not saying she's a hoaxer either. I'm saying that maybe she wasn't aware of her abilities with the static and wise of things, you know. But she may have been. I'll just leave it blurry this time. I'll just see if anything pops up on the colour swapping. Okay. Still looks like there's something like a screen, doesn't it? See how it fades off in the middle here? That's why I think it's a background scene and a front scene here. And what they're showing as aliens is actually pareidolia effect. And again, we've got these outlines here where the camera was. Maybe I was talking about the camera being over here. Well, that hard copy sign is in a different location now. That kind of looks like the arm sticking out where they've rotated it around. But look, that when we saw the Danish camera, Super 8 camera, in fact that was up on the top, and he had bits and pieces sticking out the sides, and that looks like exactly the same here. And then she's got another camera where she's filming the reflection. And looks like there's something else here, doesn't it? It's amazing what you can do with blurriness. I would analyse it frame by frame myself if I was going to spend a big research time on it. And you never know, something might pop out where it looks like a shadow of a person in the glass. Of course, we want the original footage without all this defacing that's going on too. So I don't know if there's any more we can look at. From that footage. So this one again just looks like a lampshade. What do you think of that one? Looks like a street lamp. Out of focus, overexposed. Okay, let's just grab some of these ones. Is that the same one? It's meant to be the craft. Could be. Let's just grab some of them. Who knows, it might be genuine. Maybe it's the only genuine one she's got. The craft with the aliens. Maybe that's one of her first ones, who knows. I'm not too sure the order that she's gotten them. I'm sort of drying out here too. It's very hot today, and talking all the time does your voice in, doesn't it? Okay, let's carry on.
Just one of thousands of...
Okay, let's grab that one. In fact, I don't think you can even find her photos online, right? If you're a sincere, right, you won't copyright it all. You just put it all out there and say, here you go. Date stamps, times, everything you want to know. Date, daytime, nighttime. What was she doing that day and all that sort of stuff. You know, you could write on the back of the photo that she got woken up and then went outside, take pictures or whatever. But she might be legit, and some of it might be just, like I said, an accident that she doesn't understand that she's generating it. So, I'm not going to throw her under the bus, so to speak, but it's very highly suspect to me. I'd like to see what Mick West and Scott Brando have to say on her. Maybe she's too hard basket, you know. A lot of the too hard ones, a lot of the investigators won't touch.
Been hailed as the greatest UFO.
See, to me, that looks like illuminated moth. A bit like Greer used to grab, you know. I don't think you can get those on regular film like that, though. But I might be wrong. I don't know enough about film. So we need some experts in 8mm, 16mm. Let's amplify those ones up, and obviously hard copy didn't, or the experts didn't. Did I post a link to that one? I did, didn't I? It's in that tweet anyway. So let's go through these ones one by one. Now this one does sort of represent some other cases, certainly around about 1970s anyway, of a tear-shaped UFO, which was orange. or I should say clam shape. So let's see what we've got here. So it looks like a lot of reflection here. And it looks less, and that looks like a face here. Look, looks like she's standing there. Could that be a reflection? Distorted reflection. That looks like a face. You've seen pictures of her. That looks like a face there. How about that for a first attempt? She's doing something here, looking through the camera. Looks like the camera's there, this side of her face here. Looks like there's a straight bit coming down here, like a window edge of some kind. And also down here too. Okay, let's reset that one. So you can't see that there. Okay, so it was a reflection, but that could be watery breath, right? It might be a cold night where you excel. It creates this mist. So what is this here then? So if she's there with the camera aiming this way, could be just a light off her camera, or a torch in the hand, or something like that. Let's underexpose it. And you can see that's the brightest object here. Which kind of looks like a torch beam on a slight angle. And that looks like the light reflecting off a window here onto breath. So it's bouncing off the window here. So you can look at reflections and refractions. Definitely something there. Doesn't look like a face at the moment. And you can see definitely something happening here. Like a bright light. Or something happening. Well, that's it really. Certainly a lot of colour changes in that one, you know. All that's meant to be black, right? But you can see there's a whole spectrum of different colour shades of black. Alright. And we can recolour all those different shades of black and see what pops out. And there's her eye, nose and mouth. And it looks like her face. It does. It looks like her face if you look at her face in the video. So that's what that is, I reckon. She's on a slight angle to... That looks like the camera. Look, that looks like the camera now. That looks like the lens. So could she take that off herself though, on that angle? I reckon she could if you work out the angles. I just can't wrap my head around it at the moment. It looks like a side camera with a lens. Looks like an arm going up here. Looks like a reflection of glass. Maybe some moisture in the air. Okay, let's go to the next one. No, wrong one. Yeah. I knew when I did it was wrong. It needs to be the top one. So So where is everybody tonight? Are they all playing games or watching something on TV? Not coming to help us debunk this sort of stuff? So this one I said looks like an old-fashioned plastic lampshade, or that we used to have back in the 60s, 70s. Because we moved flats and houses quite regularly. I suppose that parents just had it for, because you wanted a lampshade around the light to make it less bright. So yeah, let's just run that through. And straight away we've got the edge of the lampshade popping up here. Again, it kind of looks like it's being not through her deck outside, but through a window, doesn't it? It kind of looks like it's coming off a window. So the light is behind her, and she's probably standing over here again. It so much looks like a lampshade. Can we still see here this time? Probably should have cut out more of the image this way, if there was any, of course. Okay, you can see there's a lot of different shades of black. And I think there's a lot of reflections of someone standing there. See that there? Looks like someone standing there. Possibly behind the light. Anyway, on to the next one. UFO Pro, you're still here. Okay. Image because all I can see is blurry lights. Isn't that typical UFO images though? This is the crap that by ufology is a laughing stock, right? So yeah, let's go to the next one. It's a bit of a shame. The most credible people that are believed, and this is the abyss footage. The alien grey one looked pretty good until you start really looking into it. And this one here almost looks like a lava lamp that she was filming, right? You know, those old 70 lava lamps. How dare I? All those believers at the bunker is terrible. Could it be a lava lamp? I don't know if you remember seeing lava lamps. Then reflected in the window back and film it. So yeah, look how out of focus they are there, just in that one there. Lava lamps. I have to get myself one of those. Another name is oil lamp, isn't it? Oil lava lamps or something. Lava lamp. Too keen on the trigger. Still can get them in New Zealand. There we go. And there's all sorts of sizes and different blobs. That one's got a lot of blobs in it. Alright. 2 blobs. Sort of fits, doesn't it? Put it on the side. 2 blobs, 2 blobs. It looks like that. Looks like that one there. White and orange, right? So I could take that and make my own fake UFO picture. So I'll do that now. Maybe I'll get the bigger one. I'll just cancel that one. Where's the bigger one? I've lost it now. That one there was not. I'm trying to get it so it's not dimmed. Now look at that one, almost looks like smoky, different colours. It wasn't that one. Let me just have a look. That one would be a good one probably. Let's make a fake UFO picture and compare it to hers. Overlap. Okay, we need to close down some of these. Okay. Let's see what we can do. So, scale it up. Okay. And we just want to take these two UFOs. So we want to rotate it. There we go. We need to flip it too. There we go. So we want to grab that bit here. So you'd zoom in with the camera to there probably. Based on a new image. It's too symmetrical, so let's squash them a wee bit. Resize it. So how would she do that with film though, if she was going to resize it? I guess there's a way in doing it. With reflections, glass, bend it. I would just make it go squash inwards or outwards in convex glass. Maintain, no. Let's pump it up a bit. So that's very similar to his now. Oh, get rid of that one. And mine looks very similar, doesn't it? I don't even have to blur it. I could then do adjustments to it. Colour. Let's see. Probably best with the curves with that one. So you can make some new interesting effects. It kind of looks like little spheres now, doesn't it? Little beads. Look at that. 2 windows at the side. I'd have you fooled, wouldn't I? Hey? That's way too good though. We could add some blurriness into it. Let's see. Where's blur? Blur. Blurs. So we can do motion blur. Let's see what that does for us. Which direction? Distance. Oh, there we go. There we go, that's looking more like a UFO picture now. Yeah, it's just like you get on your smartphone. So I'm just saying, look how easy it is, right? And it looks like it's in the night sky. You can say here's a little baby ship coming up. So let's just run that through. And again, it looks like a lava light to me. It does, it just looks like the same sort of thing. It's got the same sort of 3D pattern effect happening in it. So I'm going to call that one the lava lights. Almost looks like it's in the jar here. She's a really cunning lady, I tell you. And we can even make the blue background maybe. Let's see if we want to do it in daytime. I should start my own Secure Team 10 channel putting up stuff like this. And just play along. 8 years, I'd have millions of dollars pouring in like he has. Yeah, what's a good one? Color mixer. Let's see what they can do for us. Blues. Too much reds. No, that's hopeless. That's for fine adjustments, I think. Okay, let's try color curves again. Let's see what we can get with it. Reds. Blues, almost blues, blacks. The CPU's playing up. Damn it. I think you probably have to use something else. So here we go. So now we're getting, so you can do that. And then you can reapply it again. To get some blues. That would be a good UFO one. It looks like it's got some vapor trail, and that's got some energy field around it. You see what I mean? It's so easy to fake stuff. It's great. I like it. I like that one. I might just keep that just as a piece of artwork. Okay, let's just save that bit and move on. Untitled Lava Light UFO. Lava light. Maybe I should sell it to the nearest bidder who wants to buy it. Hang it on the wall. Actually, it would actually make a good art piece, actually. Print it out on one of those colour poster makers. This is the sort of thing, Martin Willis does. Martin Willis, he does paintings like this. And he sells them for $5,000, $10,000 each. I'm in the wrong business. I need to get into art again. So I can make the photographic art out of other people's photographs. And they wouldn't even know it was theirs. Martin Willis, yeah. I'm not sure if you can even find him. He's got his own website, hasn't he? Martin, maybe he puts it on his website. Martin. How do you spell his name? Martin Willis. Tin Willis artwork. Let's see what comes up. It's probably going to be a few Martin Willises around. Podcast. Yeah. Kind of looks like some of his artwork though. That one definitely is. Martin Willis, here we go. You see, my one's better than that. Come on. Now let's open it up. So I just need to convert mine into a painting maybe. This is Martin Willis. Abstract Traditional. Has he got prices on them? Okay, $200 for a seal. A bird. $300 for a seagull. Mountains, $200. I know he has got some for thousands of dollars as well. Not doing as good as Hunting, what's his name? Hunter Biden. Selling it for $250,000. He has got UFO ones, but I think the UFO ones sell actually. Desert Moon. He sells it to computer people, not computer people, UFO people that watch his channel, and he promotes it sometime. I've just done this art piece on UFO, Triangle Craft. So there you go, 125 for that one. Anyway, that's a side thing. Let's see. Just wonder if I need to carry on doing other stuff. We've still got a bit on that to do. Look at that one. Flying saucers. I hope that's not his. Oh, it is his. It is abstract one. We're going to look at that one. $200. Come on, Martin, that's piss taken. 155. Hey, what do you reckon to that? I like the guy, but that's just piss taken. Anyway, enough of this video. Probably in trouble with claim nonsense already. So yeah, I looked at Super 8 cartridges not advancing. So it is out there and they still use them today. 5 months ago, right? So have you tried a different cartridge? And then it's a new one. I think it was the cartridge season up. So that's exactly what was happening when we were watching what was happening here thing. It sees up and you got long exposure, right? And you also got other settings on the camera which I'll go over, which I'm not too sure about, that may lock exposure. So, but there are different models, of course. What else did I find? Here, aiming up the camera again, you can see it's two hands again. It's all on the battery compartment. And it's like the front piece of that camera. Maybe I'm just highlighting it. It's almost like a light reflecting off the side of the camera with a face. But anyway, we've done through that one. So yeah, Super 8 cameras you can still get for $500. So it talks about all the inside here. which is kind of useful information. So it just needs to have that one. Make sure to take up rule is turning. So there's all sorts of mechanical things that can go wrong. Film gate. And of course that's where you get the fluff, right? You know, the little strings and fluff that ends up on lots of other pictures that we've looked at in the past. Film component, film. ISO slider, so that's light. ISO notch. Okay, what have we got in here? Shutter release. Handle release. Well, that's the batteries. Orange filter. That's interesting. Film door, automatic switch. Electronic zoom, button switch. There's nothing about exposure there. That's a Canon. But this one looks like a different make again. Frames per second. That one's got more control. Open orange filter again. So they're obviously different models. This one's got a few switches on it. There you go. Exposure lock. Shutter release. Manual zoom. Macro lever. This one seems to have a lot more stuff on it. Electronic zoom. Focus and ring. Well, hers weren't focused, that's for sure. Battery check. See, the handle's too small on that one to be hers. So where's the batteries in this one? I suppose it could be 2 AA batteries inside a cylinder there, couldn't it? How much would you need? Anyway, you can see there's a lot to these cameras. Where's the battery? Battery check. Battery. See, that even looks too small for her camera. That's got 4 batteries in it. So could the other one have 2 batteries? Sure it could. Makes some sense to make the handle the batteries, doesn't it? It's wasted space otherwise. But I'm pretty sure Mick West would know all the technical details of this, and probably even have one in the closet, you know. His family probably had one. He'll probably be able to do experiments and see if he can duplicate what she did. If he wanted to take on it, of course. So yeah, I'll just post that link there. In case anyone watching is interested to research it further. Various Super 8 models. And next one, time exposures with Super 8. Now, I'm not too sure what they're talking about here, but they're talking mostly about lenses. Something you can add onto the camera to make exposures. But I think hers is just simple. Motor stopping long enough to create a long exposure on one frame. Or several frames anyway. And of course it could be static too, which would create some motion as well. Yeah, so obviously you can create long exposures according to these experts here, but they're talking about using lenses. Okay, so above top secret webpage on it. Dorothy Izatt, spelled wrong, isn't it? Double T, 1Z. Videos, not the legal ones. So what they're talking about there is ones obviously that copyrighted documentaries. But we've seen enough of it anyway. So just to scan through what they're saying here. 45 seconds I freaked out at a little at first and got my heart racing. So he's talking about the aliens, I think, there. I've been intrigued by Izatt. That's not her name though, is it? I don't think I spelled it wrong. Maybe they spelled it wrong on purpose. Dorothy Izatt? Or was it a different person? Could be. There you go, double T. So Google's corrected it. See? One said double T. Contact with billions of light. See, so she's in Amazon still. So let's see how much money they're making there. Paperback. It's a book, so definitely be making money. Paperback, $17. Kindle, $11. It's still pretty good money. I suppose there's a video. One of a book. There's obviously documentaries. Light worker. And look, the views. A lot of people liked it. 100 global ratings. What she says is true. I believe her. Kindle. No colour pictures. Book is great. No, that's no good. No colour pictures. We've got them online. I really enjoyed this book. Yeah, of course you did. 5 stars. Running with wisdom. So these are all the light being people. They probably follow Dr. Greer too. Excellent. Well. Hidden gem. Oh, here we go. At last, contact with the UFOs. UK. Fantastic read. Very impressed with the evidence. Can't understand why it's hasn't had more publicity. Yeah, then you get people like me that cares about it and starts pulling it to bits. They don't want that. No. Okay, so that was just a quick search. Just check on the name. Here we go. Vancouver Lights, they call it. Unsolved Mysteries. That's when she first made it to TV. I wonder what she got paid for that. Okay, it's the same images that we're seeing. Okay. Spelt wrong again. It's very interesting. Why was the name spelt wrong? '70s. Spelt right there. Maybe there is someone spelt this way. No. There's a lady that filmed Contact. No, they spelt her name wrong. Capturing the Light. Here we go. Documentary. So there was a documentary unavailable. That's one of the paid ones, and the channel got deleted through copyright infringements. Blah, 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 blah. Photographs from Beyond UFOs. What's that? Speaker. I could play a bit of that and listen to it, I guess. See what other people were saying about her. Oh no, Divine Lotus Healing. So you can see how fruitcake it can go, right? And that really just brings it right down. She'll be selling crystals and going to contact in desert, no doubt, right? Lady captures glimpses of other realities and dimensions. Nah, she didn't. Anyway, enough on here for one day anyway. I'll wait for all the negative comments to come, or trolls or whatever. Oh, we're down to one watching. Cool. So I wrap it up for today and carry on with the other stuff another day. Third phase. Here we go, in 2 hours 15. Might just keep it to here, this one, and keep these lucky guys to another day. Might do another show tomorrow, see how I feel. My energy levels have been a wee bit down since I've had jab, but I'm not feeling too bad today. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up there since no one's around. Might just put this up on Twitter if anyone wants a copy of that one. If I remember at the end. I think I saved it, didn't I? Yep. And thanks for joining us on the side anyway, people. It's good to get some other people's interaction, even if it's not agreeing with me. That's totally fine. This is what we're here for. I think normally the majority wins, though, the outcome. And yeah, if you want to give donations, I don't actually pin my link. I should do that before I close down. If you want to donate anytime, you can. Super Chat at the moment is still available, and you can be a membership if you want to. We've got some special icons there that you can play around with. Now, it doesn't really offer much, really, YouTube. Keep pull on air, basically. Especially running out of my pocket here. I need some, gear, obviously. Just basic running costs, and then you got stuff you want to get, like cameras and stuff, so you can do more. I can't do garage experiments because I ain't got lasers and cameras and all sorts of goodies that Mick West has got. Putting message. Keep knocking the microphone. Did it go upwards? It normally pops up. Oh, here it goes. Time to wrap down. Wrap up, I mean. Good night. I need a drink. And we'll do some more tomorrow, hopefully. Didn't Secure Team put up something as well lately? Thanks UFO Bro, thanks Dan, who else showed up? Jasper, ongoing viewers and supporters. And take care on the roads, guys. So dangerous on the roads, I tell ya. I must have been close to about 10 accidents in my life, so And one was when my brakes didn't even work and I went straight through an intersection and totally missed all the cars. That was scary, that was. But we live another day to fight for truth and disclosure. And go and get some sleep. It must be pretty late overseas now, is it? Australia should be right though. And New Zealand. It's coming up to dinner time round about now for some people. Anyway, stop dribbling on board, let's move on.